going on, everybody? Happy 2025. Happy New Year. Happy Tim Bip Live Day. We are live and alive. We have made it to not only another Thursday, but another new year. We've done it. We've officially left 2024 behind us in the dust. It's over. And I hope you're doing well. Hope you've recovered okay. Hope you're feeling refreshed and good. I imagine a lot of us going back to our, today was our first day back at work. After the holidays, or at least after the new year. I actually took yesterday off. I don't normally take a lot of days off, but I took as you would expect to. I took a day off yesterday. It was nice. Took some time off over the holidays as well, and ready to get back at it. And I'm feeling good. Feeling like I'm ready to have some bourbon, too. And I know some folks are doing dry January, but if you're not, feel free to pour along with me as we ring in the new year. Tater Dom kicked things off, saying Happy New Year, people. Oh, peoples. Sorry, I misread it. Our good buddy Darren said Happy New Year, Pear Bear. Good to see you, my friend. Tony Bag of Donuts. Hello, Mr. Bear. Hello to you, Mr. Donut. And Tolly Weeds on the Twitch chat saying Happy New Year. Tolly, I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for holding the fort down on Twitch. I appreciate you. As always. I was just gonna... Okay, I'm not gonna... Whatever. Doesn't matter. Zopher! Hey, Perry. Hello, Zopher. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing fantastic. I'm gonna pour up. Before we get to talking about the news, talking about what's been going on, I'm gonna wet my whistle with a little Russell's Reserve 10-year-old. Yes, this is the LLME batch. Whatever. Any news from Santa? No, not yet. He has been sick this week, so I have not had a chance to see the Lexington Daily Bourbon Santa. And I've also been working quite a bit. When I'm not taking a day off, I've been working 10-hour days. So, but I will do my best to link up with him before we record again next week. Eric is off in Florida. He is at the Walt Disney World with his bride. Big Vic, Happy New Year, Perry and y'all. Good to see you, Vic. Hope you're doing fantastic. Hello, Emily. Hi, y'all. Hi to you. I hope you're doing well. And I hope you had a fabulous New Year. We're not doing a whole lot of news. I just had a couple of things I wanted to touch on. Primarily, of course, this Knob Creek cast strength single barrel thing that I've known about for a little while, and it just finally kind of came to light via TTB filing. So we'll talk about it, and there's not a whole lot of information, but we at least will touch on what's there in the filing. we're kind of in that gray period right now where there's not a whole lot of bourbon news. So we won't dwell on it too much. There's something else that we'll discuss as well from the folks over at MGP. We'll get to that. All sorts of stuff happening, of course. Personal news-wise, what have I had going on? Had a fantastic little New Year's Eve celebration at our friend's house. Actually let Eden, our youngest, stay up until midnight, which was, I don't know, it was maybe a good decision. It's been interesting with the 4-year-old recently. But regardless, you know, had some fun. Brought some bourbons over to my friend's house, who is not really much of a bourbon drinker. But he's getting into it more and more. We just find a kid countdown on YouTube and play it at like 10 for the kids to get them down at a somewhat decent time. We've done that before. And we were just having a good time at our friend's house. And they've got a daughter who is young enough to play with Eden. And they were having a good time. And so we said, screw it. We may as well just, let them hang out, enjoy themselves. And yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was not that bad. That being said, though, I did not get to bed until about 3 a.m. Which I'm, all things considered, when I edit the podcast, I usually am editing at night, of course, because I work during the day, and then I'll edit, some on the weekends too. But I do edit. I tend to edit quite late into the night. So you think I would be used to it, but I was a little sleepy when I woke up yesterday. Part of that might have been the drinking. I don't know. I didn't get too rowdy though. I didn't get too crazy. It was a pretty tame evening, all things considered. Tips and bits for parties with friends. Play the new Jackbox Survey Scramble. Lots of fun. Ooh, I do love me some Jackbox. I do love Jackbox. Anyway. Otherwise, went to Mom and Dad's last night. Had lamb, our traditional New Year's Day dinner. It was fabulous. I paired an Elijah Craig 10-year-old 132 proof single barrel with it, and it was fabulous. Just great overall. Just great. And our best of 2024 episode came out this week as well. So if you have not listened to that yet, I will not spoil it for you, but please do go listen to it and check it out. Find out what we named, Eric and I collectively, our number one bourbon of the year. We did come to a joint decision on it. We named the same bourbon our number one of the year. But the rest of our lists were actually completely different. It was the first time ever that we had a list where things did not land in the same spots. Usually we'll have years where they'll hit, sometimes we'll have the same number 7 or the same number 3 or whatever, and we had same bourbons just in different spots. Same whiskeys, just in different spots. So yeah, go check it out. YouTube, if that's where you're watching. Check it out on your podcast app of choice, of course. And yes. Anyway, folks. Let's get to it, I think. Oh, by the way, before we go too much further, if you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for doing so. I have to hit this, of course, up top, as we always do. Hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe to the channel as well. And also, if you would like to support the channel monetarily as we are live every Thursday night, you can do so by hitting the Stream Elements link in the description or at the pinned comment at the top of your chat, whether you are at Twitch or YouTube. And you can do that to support Mr. Snuffleupagus back here. He is the patron saint. Eden is biggest, yes. Did I say? Yeah, she's our oldest. 4. She's 4 years old. Snuffleupagus, he's the patron saint of Timbip Live for a thing called Snuffy Chats. It's how we keep the show rolling. It's how you support the show while we are live here. And if you cannot do so, just being here, subscribing, liking, all that good stuff. Follow on social media at My Bourbon Pod and support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast for as little as $1 a month. For as little as $5 a month, there's bonus content over there, including early access to episodes, bonus content that comes out every week, and other stuff that's cool and good and fun, and you can enjoy it. Brewmaster's over on Twitch. What's up, Perry? What's up, everybody? Good to see you, Matt. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being on the Twitch chat. You know, it's not that I don't love doing the simulcast on YouTube and Twitch. I feel like someday we might switch over to just Twitch. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just keep it on YouTube and Twitch. It's not that bad. I can do it through StreamYard. Gonna pop onto YouTube and pump up those algorithms. Okay, well, there we go. Just pop onto YouTube. We got to get monetized there eventually, too. Maybe more people will pop into the Twitch, too. I could have blasted off, too, on... Hey, there he is. All right, because we're talking about Knob Creek single barrel cast strength picks, I'm going to drink a Knob Creek non-cast strength pick. Of course, because those aren't a thing yet. But Tony Joey, I just popped on. Thanks for popping on, Tony Joey. Anybody doing the dry thingy? As you can tell, I am not. I have content to make, so I do not do the dry thingy. And Anthony Arterietta is right. Do hit the like button. This is a little bit of a Tonal Wine and Market No Better Barrels single barrel. From all the way back in 2022 that I bought back in November. One day in and I'm undecided. Yeah. I say as long as you're drinking in moderation, you do whatever you want. You know, it's not that big a deal. So let's talk about it. Our buddy Cumming Whiskey, Jacob himself, shared earlier today the TTB filing for the Knob Creek Cast Strength Single Barrel Select, which is supposed to be happening this year. Now, I knew that this was going to be a thing. I had heard rumblings about this about a month ago, and I didn't bring it up. I actually talk about it on next week's pregame chats on the Patreon. So again, if you're not on the Patreon, head over there. Little as $5 a month is when you get the bonus content. But anyway, I brought it up to Eric, talking about how there are going to be cast strength single barrel picks from Knob Creek. Excuse me. And I didn't know when Eric and I recorded this, when he and I were talking about this, what the extent of these picks were going to be, what it was going to actually look like. And I'm not saying that this is the end all be all and that we're actually going to see only these 8-year sub 120 proof cast strength picks. But let me be very honest with you. This is not what I was anticipating. This was not it. I was not ready to have my hopes dashed when I slid over the slides, and I think I initially saw this on Instagram when I slid through the what do you call it? The carousel that Cumming Whiskey had shared, and the first thing that, as I think most people noticed, it wasn't just me, what really caught my eye was, first of all, the proof, 119.4, and second of all, that it was 8 years old. Again, sometimes you get these labels that cross the TTB, and they're placeholders for what the actual labels are going to be. Of course, not every label is going to say single barrel select bourbon privately selected. That is typically going to be where the name of the organization is going to be for the actual pick. Not everything is going to be Warehouse J. It's not always going to be Floor 5. I'm explaining things because mostly for people who don't know this. Of course, like a lot of you all already know this information. The point, though, is really that there are two things that I gleaned from this information. The first one is that I really, really hope that this is an indicator that we are going to see more and more of our 10-plus-year-old Knob Creek single barrels popping back up, and that Jim Beam is really just trying to get rid of, not get rid of necessarily, but they're trying to, find a use for some of these younger Knob Creek barrels. Maybe they're not aging correctly. Maybe, there's some kind of like magic quality that even though they're a little bit younger, the cast strength aspect of it is doing the legwork that the age is not. Who's to say? We don't know exactly yet. We're not going to know until they actually come to market. All that being said, though, I am not as excited about it in the way that I was when I first heard that this was a thing, when I caught, when it was brought into my purview. It's the same thing that happened when Elijah Craig single barrel picks, Elijah Craig barrel proof single barrel picks were announced, right? We were all going, oh, it's going to be, like 12 years and like, maybe it's going to be 10 or 11 and like, that's going to be okay. And then like we were starting to get these like 8-year-old picks and 9-year-old picks, and they were good, but they weren't Elijah Craig barrel proof picks. And I don't remember exactly who said this, but they were barrel proof Elijah Craig picks, not Elijah Craig barrel proof picks. They were barrel-proof Elijah Craig picks. There's a very distinct difference between that, okay? So, on the one hand, you have Elijah Craig barrel-proof, and then you have barrel-proof Elijah Craig. Does that make sense? Am I making sense here? On one hand, you've got the actual bottling Elijah Craig barrel-proof, and on the other hand, you've got a barrel-proof version of the brand known as Elijah Craig Small Batch, right? And we're getting single barrel versions of that. And for the longest time, we were getting, the 94 proof Elijah Craig picks that were single barrels. And we're getting now single barrel cask strength versions of those. And that's what those picks turned into. And everybody was hyped up when it was initially announced because we thought, oh, we're getting Elijah Craig barrel proof picks. And it was just kind of flipped. And then again, I don't remember, I can't attribute this, this quote correctly because I don't remember who said it. But the whole point of it was they were like, they had this aha, I figured it out moment where they realized we were bamboozled for a second, and we weren't actually being given what we all wanted. We were being given the cask strength version of these single barrel picks that even in the beginning were not super popular. You know what I mean? The whole point behind this, you broke my brain for a minute, but brought it home there at the end. Cool, good. Sorry I broke your brain. I apologize. The whole point here, though, is that what this feels like with Jim Beam, with Knob Creek, is like we're getting kind of the same. Audio Deluxe, what's up? I logged in mid-sermon. Sorry, Pastor Perry, that's funny. Anyway, the whole point is that this doesn't feel as true to form for what a Knob Creek pick would be, in the way that if we were being given, and again, this is pure speculation based off of solely the fact that what we were presented with initially was an 8-year-old age statement. If we had been given 9 years old, like Knob Creek is traditionally and has been returned to now, because the age statement, of course, was dropped off of the small batch and was brought back, and 9-year-old never left the single barrel. It even when it was dropped off of the small batch, it still maintained it on the single barrels. So single barrel Knob Creeks have always been 9 years old. This is the first time it's ever deviated from that. Of course, unless you're getting picks, from back in the day, which were 10 to 16 years old, which was crazy still. The whole point. This is the first time we've not gotten a 9-year-old, at minimum, Knob Creek pick. So why does this matter? First of all, of course, it's the fact that it's a deviation from what has traditionally been a Knob Creek single barrel product. The second reason, and I think this is the most important one too, is we've gone through a year of a very shaky quality of products from Jim Beam, and I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what's happening. Even down to some of the single barrels that have been picked. I've had a couple that have been good. Even like up until this past year, I feel like there were some even just 9-year-old picks that were really good, and something happened in the past year where everything just fell flat. There were a couple of really good releases that came from Jim Beam this past year, but they weren't so different, and they were mostly repackaging. And that's where I feel like, and affordable, yes. And also, hi, Stacy. Good to see you. Miss Four Leaf Whiskey. Hashtag make Booker's great again. Yes, absolutely. I thought, and this is my personal opinion. If you listen to this week's episode that came out, our best of episode, we also talked about our most disappointing and our honorable mentions. On my most disappointing list, I included, I'm sorry, Booker's the Reserves. I did not think that bottle lived up to what it could have been. I did not. I thought that it fell flat. I thought that it had no depth of character. And for a product that was supposed to be this new introduction into the Booker's just a catalog that was going to showcase what could really be done with their backlog of barrels, it fell short. It just truly did. And I don't want these Knob Creek cask strength picks to be just another introduction into Jim Beam products that are mediocre at best. I don't. I know. I want them to be good, and you know it's purely speculation at this point. I know it is, but Knob Creek is a 9-year-old bourbon. It is. We gotta. I think that it's being done a disservice by dropping it down to 8 years old. I've never missed a Booker's release, and the last 2 years have really just bummed me out. Yes, dude, absolutely. They've been disappointing. Releasing Booker's Reserves and Little Book Infinite at the same time rubbed me the wrong way from the get-go. 100%. I picked the wrong year to buy my first Booker's then. I have not had this release, 2024 2. But I've not heard anything, overly positive about it. But then again, I've not heard anything like overly negative about it. But that's not something you want to have to say about Booker's. It's Booker's. It's Booker's, man. Is my mic low? Oh wait, no, I'm looking at a different. No, I'm good. Never mind. They're just meh. Yes, they are. I was looking at the wrong audio input. I know it's not low now. Sorry. Not at the $100 price point. Yes, absolutely. I am curious about the Jimmy's batch though. I have been wanting to try Jimmy's batch. Anyway, that's my that's my general thought process. Those are my general thinking. That's my general thinking. Excuse me. On what this product is going to be. I am a very passionate Knob Creek fan. I am. I don't even want to talk about yet what these might cost. I don't want to. But dadgummit, they better be $65. They better be the standard, $65. Hey, look, if anybody's more or equally passionate about the knob, it is one Clifton Bourbon Bites himself. Hello, Clifton. I will open Jimmy's batch in a little bit. Awesome. Tony, let us know, please. Any other time, something like Jimmy's batch, if it had been 4 years ago, I would have immediately jumped on it. immediately I would have jumped on that batch. No question. With the quality of Booker's around that time, just it would have been a no-brainer. Hoping to do all four 2024 Booker's batches on a stream this Saturday if the bottles arrive in time. It would be a unicorn 4 years ago, and now it's just sitting. If I get it from anywhere, it's going to be at like Kroger because it's cheaper there. Giving them one last shot, to be honest. Yeah, I don't blame you. Speaking of beam things, was/is Winter's Reserve the cheapest Finnish whiskey ever? Almost dropped that question on a barrel ring. I would say so. And we didn't even bring that up on the pod. But I would say, yeah, it probably is the cheapest finished bourbon or cheapest finished product ever. You bring up an excellent point, Audio. Jim Beam Double Oak? What's cheaper? Okay, so Jim Beam Double Oak is like $20. Winter Reserve is $25. Yeah. So Double Oak would absolutely be cheaper. Yeah, I mean, that is a good question, though. But yeah, Double Oak is the cheapest. Now, that would have been an interesting, like, if I had... Oh, snap. Notre Dame beat Georgia. Holy shnikes. That's crazy. Cheapest age-stated finished whiskey, maybe? I would say that's probably true. I still thought this bourbon was good. It wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but I didn't have a problem with it. I really didn't. Anyway. Hot topic. Clifton, did you go to Hot Topic for something? What did I miss? A toasted bourbon for $25 I'm okay with? Yeah, absolutely. As being the proof hound, of course, like my main complaint, I think, is the fact that it was only 86 proof. It is what it is. You know, I think I'm more of a Spencer's kind of guy. Oh, you didn't know what to stream about tonight. Okay, I gotcha. That's a funny comment, though. I would show you all on stream what Eric got me for Christmas this year, but I have a feeling YouTube would not like it. And actually, Twitch probably wouldn't like it either. It would go against TOS. This single barrel is fantastic. Single barrel is fantastic. Excuse me. But he did Eric did get me a gift from Spencer's. That was a phallic lollipop. And he told me I had to pair it. But I don't know. I'm And it's caramel flavored too. But I can't use it for content because I wouldn't be able to put it up anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's a very obviously and very clearly phallic lollipop. Eric doesn't need a holiday to give away or suck on a phallic lollipop. He also gave me, let me pull this up. Because this I can show. Here. So for anybody who's seen Terrifier, he got me a Art Krispies ramen bowl. And it's got I've never had like an actual ramen bowl before, but it's super cool. Oh, these are awesome. Oh, I like the Flamin' Hot Cheetos one. That's super dope. Gives a new meaning to a gag gift. Oh my gosh, Clifton. Just blur it out. If you can't pack it, is it really a bowl? See what you did there. Ben, what's up? Good to see you. Sorry, I was gonna gives a new meaning to gag gift is one of the funniest things I've ever read in my entire life. I'll smoke to that. That's hilarious. All right, let's get back to the news. Oh, I'm doing too many things. MGP. If I don't cause chaos, I'm not doing my job. Amen to that. MGP's CEO has resigned over declining sales. Brandon Gall. Oh, was it their CEO or the CFO? No, it was their CEO. What's going on here? Their CFO is going to be their interim president and CEO. That started yesterday. But David Bratcher was their CEO. He stepped down. But this was over all the money that they've been losing recently. Does that show up? Oh, that doesn't show up. That's interesting. Here's the thing. Also, Bratcher's still going to be part of the company. He's going to be on the board. He's going to retire after a new CEO is on. Don Lux, an MGPI board member and former owner of Luxco, which merged with MGPI in 2021, will take over the chairman's role from current chair Karen Seberg in order to guide the transition to a new CEO. With an eye on expanding distribution for its own products and growing its own premium spirit sales, MGPI said paid Lux $475 million in cash and stock to conjoin the long-established liquor giants. Investment analysts regarded Bratcher's departure as a noteworthy end to 12 challenging months in which MGPI stock plummeted from a height of more than $100 per share to less than $40. Yes, MGP is publicly traded. It's crazy, man. He didn't use the Adam and Eve code. Declining sales is across the board. Irish and Scotch are having issues as well. Yes. Bourbon boom ending. Let's talk about that. Because this is something that has been happening not just with MGP, but with bourbon in general. And as Stacy said, it's been happening with Scotch and Irish whiskey as well. Now, as anybody who is aware of the economic issues that we have been facing, not just in this country, but worldwide over the past, not just year, but few years, people are hurting. They are taking less money home on their paychecks. They're struggling to put more food on their table. They are struggling more and more with housing. It is an issue. So what is one of the first things that gets cut when they are not able to feed their families and they are struggling to live under their own roofs? Something as extemporaneous as whiskey gets cut. Of course, whiskey is going to get cut first. Why? Because I've been saying it for years. Whiskey is not a necessity. Whiskey is, by and large, and I'll always say this, a luxury item. You do not need whiskey, bourbon, to survive. Speak for yourself? Yeah. Now, do I like coming home or getting up out of my chair, this chair here that I work in every day, turning around, finding a bottle of bourbon that I want to have a pour of after a hard day's work? Absolutely. Do I need to do that? Absolutely not. But here's the thing. If all of the bourbon and whiskey in the world disappeared, and it meant that people were able to feed their families, and it meant that people were able to keep the roof over their heads, it would not be the end of the world. People would survive. They would get by. I've talked with some Ohio Liquor Board people a little after the Waterford collapse. They think consumers have hit a limit for what they are willing to spend for a bottle of whiskey. Yeah, absolutely. And the funny thing is, we're still seeing ultra premium brands get introduced to the market. We're still seeing your Weller Millenniums. We're still seeing your Very Eagle Double Rares. It's still happening. It's not that that's going to stop, because people are still going to buy it. It's going to happen. However, people are still taking home less money. You're still not getting as much in your paycheck. Your material conditions are still feeling worse and worse. And so you're not buying as much bourbon. MGP is seeing this. Who's the first one to go? Of course, they're going to blame it on their top dog. Is it really his fault? Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't particularly matter. I don't care one way or another. All that being said, though, ten years ago, when the bourbon boom was beginning, everybody's reaction was, we need to make more whiskey so that we have enough in stock so that we don't run out again like we're doing right now. Prices up, quality down. Absolutely. Redbreast 27 is $800 now. People aren't buying it, not as much. The problem with this market is it's unpredictable. 10 years ago, we didn't know that we were going to be in the situation that we're in. Ideally, prices will go down. But that doesn't mean that people are just all of a sudden going to be buying whiskey again like they were 10 years ago. Because, again, their material conditions are not going to change. Money is still not just going to magically appear in their pocket because bottles are going to be sitting on shelves. So if anything is going to end the bourbon boom, it's going to be the fact that people are being charged more money for everything across the board. Here's something else that's going to cause that. Bourbon industry concerned about looming tariffs. Those in the bourbon industry believe they should be currently toasting to their success. We've got this time in our industry where we're at the height of our success. The president, Eric Gregory, the president of the Kentucky Distillers Association. We've got more bourbon aging in Kentucky than ever before. Production is up 600% in the last 25 years. 600%. We have distillers in 40 counties. The Kentucky Bourbon Trail is bringing millions of people over here from all over the world. However, that success is overshadowed by concerns over looming retaliatory tariffs. Gregory explains that American whiskey has become a pawn in a trade war. We literally woke up one morning in 2018 and I got a call from a foreign journalist who said, "How do you like being pawns in a trade war?" These tariffs are going to affect how much money you are going to have to spend on whiskey. It's true. These tariffs that the European Union hit the United States with in 2018, which were initially 25%, are now going to be 50%. Gregory said it's set to come back in March, and it's set to come back at 50%. It cost hundreds of millions of dollars at 25%. I really cringe to think what a 50% tariff would do to Kentucky bourbon. This isn't even talking about the consumers. This is also considering the jobs market, investors, and the local economies. This is talking about craft distillers. This is talking about the farmers. This is going to hurt us in our pockets, people. The bourbon boom is on track. The bourbon bubble is on track to pop very, very quickly and very, very soon. Don Nishida, what's up? Bottles are just sitting on the shelves here, and the secondary has tanked. Stag Jr. that used to go for $400 now sits on our secondary at $150. Yes. Whiskey is self-medicated entertainment. There's bell curve. The market is also saturated. 3 years ago, I could buy every new Irish release, 44 distilleries today. I can't buy everything. I have to pick favorite brands. I'm sure bourbon is worse. Bourbon is worse. I can't buy many bottles over $60 anymore. I don't buy as often either. Absolutely. Even more recently during COVID, look at all the distilleries just around our area running full bore and expanding. 100%. Let me see more info on that home equity line of credit. Yeah, this is fine. See? Everything's fine. Over 23,000 people in Kentucky rely on the bourbon industry for their livelihood, and that is more than double than what it was just 10 years ago. That's everything from hardworking farm families to truckers, hospitality staff, coopers, you name it, all over Kentucky. If that tariff comes back at 50%, I'm afraid all those people will feel the pain. Gregory worries that the smaller craft distilleries will particularly be in trouble. However, he maintains some optimism that the industry that made it through Prohibition will survive. If that is the case, though, keep in mind, that if that is the case, and we maintain that optimism, that is something that has to be backed not just by consumers, but through government support. Why did bourbon survive through Prohibition? Because it was allowed to continue operating medicinally. Bourbon didn't shut down fully during Prohibition. It was allowed to continue production because it was considered medicinal. Treating it as though it is something that will be fixed purely by consumerism is a false hope. It's not going to work that way this time. There has to be support one way or another. Tariffs are a horrible idea. I agree. I'm in the industry and it's gotten weird. It has. Even from the outside looking in, it's weird. Alcohol consumption is down worldwide. There is a large concern in Japan and Korea that the younger generation no longer are drinking as much as earlier generations. I think that's evident not just in foreign countries. I think that there are studies coming out in the United States as well that younger generations are not drinking as much too. And I mean, there are health studies coming out too that drinking's not as good for. Of course, I mean we've known that for forever. We know that now. I mean, it's true. It's a fact of the matter. We're in a generation, we're witnessing a generation that is more informed and more well-read than any generation prior. And so, naturally, they're going to see these studies, they're going to see the information, and they're going to come to a more well-rounded conclusion that will eventually lead them to be more well-educated and say, well, I don't want to put that in my body. Add $1 onto the price of every bottle of whiskey for whiskey lobbyists. Ugh. Most of my LA friends are non-drinkers. They have other substances they enjoy better. Yes. I think the $50 price point is a line of demarcation for me, as in if it's at or over that, it has to be of high quality to pull the trigger, or at least it should be. I think that's what's killing single barrels too. Unless it's coming from a group that you trust or a store that you trust and it's over $50, you're not buying it. You know, these new craft brands, people are just not biting. Unless it's a group, unless it's a store that you're like, I've never gone wrong with them. The health craze in the USA and the alcohol industry has dominated sales. Yes. This is bad for me. Anyway, all this is to be said. All this being said, we have experienced a lot of good fortune with bourbon, with whiskey. Over the no idea what that is. Over the past couple decades. And I don't think that it is one thing or another that is killing it right now. I think that's evident by the fact that, you know, again, people are just becoming more well-read. People are struggling to have their material needs met one way or another. All that being said, though, I do truly think that the boom, the bubble, we're approaching the end of it. It's a cycle. It'll come back in 20 years. I agree. But in the meantime, though, we'll see. Whiskey Tube is releasing 2 to 3 picks a week, and most of them are on the same day. It's totally untenable. Yeah. I mean, and even then, again, it goes back to like, sometimes it's not, you know what it was like 5 years ago? 5 years ago, Whiskey Tube was releasing picks, and it was still like Russell's Reserve, and it was Knob Creek, and every now and then you'd get like, I don't know, friggin' 1792 or, whatever. Now it's like all of those brands every once in a while, but it's Rare Character, and it's Augusta, and it's these more high-end picks that, yes, are coming out constantly, and they're way too pricey. And like, I think that it's one of the reasons that, like, as a podcast, we stopped doing picks so much, because they weren't getting eaten up so quickly. The market saturation at the new normal price point has a lot to do with it. Yes. And that's the other thing that's untenable too. You can't expect people, again, who are not taking as much money home and are struggling to feed their families, to just roll over and say, okay, these new prices are fine, I can deal with it, and buy up all these bottles. It's just not, those two things don't line up. I used to be so excited for Whiskey Tube picks and bought as many as I can since it was a win for the community. Now, not so much. No shade to those doing them. Just not my thing. I agree. Love Chad, but I cannot justify the price on any of their stuff. Rare Character. I think if you find a couple that you really like, that opinion might change. Because, like, it's too far away from me right now. Like, KOAs and TKOs, that's a KOA is a bourbon and a TKO is a rye. Those are about the only two where I'm like, I would go out of my way to pay those prices. But even then, it's kind of questionable. Now, keep in mind too, Chad's not the one setting the prices on those. I don't want to get into that. I mean, that's not really the conversation to be had. My friend does a lot of picks for his restaurant chain. He said it's sad now that the distillery rolls out 4 barrels. Let's start this over again. My friend does a lot of picks for his restaurant chain. He said it's sad now that the distillery rolls out 4 barrels to choose from, when in the past they could walk the warehouse and try anything. He said if they don't pick one of the 4 choices, you risk not getting one in the future. So they picked the least worst of the bunch. Yeah, that's that's so common now. And I think that goes back to what I was talking about. Don, you I think you came in after our conversation on these Knob Creek single barrel picks at CASK Strength. But it goes back to, like, when they announced these Elijah Craig barrel proof picks, and how they weren't Elijah Craig barrel proof single barrels. They were barrel proof versions of the Elijah Craig single barrels that we had been getting. That's a more concise way of saying what I was trying to say earlier. But the whole point is that, like, you're not getting the highest of quality anymore. You're just kind of getting. Hold on. This stream is bumming me out. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's the I don't mean to be super doom and gloom. It's just I think it's a I think it's a reality check. Honestly. It's the hard truth of the state of the affairs. Yeah. Yeah. I think I have to turn this into a YouTube video now. Honestly. Like cut it from my stream and turn it into a YouTube video. It's like anything that's popular, we tend to oversaturate and people move on, i.e. the MCU, Star Wars, etc. Yes, absolutely. Anyway, I think, you know, unless there is a massive like economic turnaround, things will continue to they will continue in the same direction that they currently are. It's not something that will happen overnight, of course, and I don't think it's anything that will be fixed in under any one administration either. You know what I'm saying? Everybody make sure you turn into Bourbon Bites tonight for uplifting bourbon content. Just got on, but got to say I'm right with you on where we are in the pick world right now. That said, we did get one of the best 1792 picks I've ever had here in town. Brian Brennicky, good to see you. Hope you're well. You need some uppers after this. Uppies. Can I do why am I thought there was a Peepo Uppies on Twitch. Huh. I guess there isn't. Oh well. Doesn't matter. Anyway. Jeez. It's not just Bourbon, Gold Spot, and Blue Spot are now $3.50 locally, triple in price from a year ago. Dang. Love you too, Brian. Good to see you. Chaz Stinkwell. Hello, Chaz Stinkwell. Welcome. I don't think we've had you here before, but I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. Hold on, I gotta fix my microphone. I just knocked it. Sorry about that. At least he doesn't stink bad? Yes. A very excellent point you've made there, Matt. How about a flight? How about we do ourselves a little flight? Let's change things up a bit. Perry, I would love to have you as a guest on my channel for some Irish whiskey. Stacy, you name the time and place and I am there. Let's do it. I would love to. I haven't had much Irish whiskey recently, but I am happy to join you. Going back to a pour of my Booker's 24-2, the Beamhouse batch in light of all this. But first, Booker's Jimmy's batch. Tell me what it is like. Brian and Tammy with the snuffy chat. Happy New Year. Thank you all very much. If you too want to be like Brian and Tammy, hit the Stream Elements link pinned at the top of your chat on YouTube and Twitch. And donate to the show. Brian and Tammy, thank you very much. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. So, little Turkey 101 flight. Thought I'd do this because why the heck not? I only have one Booker's Pinky's batch. Tastes like expensive Knob Creek. There you go. I am super excited about this because I've got a couple of weird batches, or weird expressions, I suppose. Not weird necessarily, but outside of the norm. Hold on, I need a sip of water. I've been yapping. Yapping. I too love wild turkey, Stacy. Very much so. So I got 4 different Turkey 101s. And we're going to do them blind in a flight because, you know, it's always fun. We got the regular old guy in a handle. And yes, do ride the Cliffy bus tonight. If I can make it, I will be there. If not, I hope you all enjoy. We got this guy in a little 100 ml bottle from 2008. You know, somewhere I have an infinity bottle of Turkey 101. Which sounds crazy, but it's like it's a bunch of Turkey Lurkey D and Turkey Lurkey Dap. I drink turkey and then I take a nap. Ooh, that looks yummy. Yes, it is. Very excited for it. But I have a Turkey 101 infinity bottle somewhere. Somewhere is what I just said. And it's got like dusty turkeys in it. Alongside some just, you know, regular. But it's interesting. And I like doing stuff like that. I think I've talked about this before, but I've got a Russell's infinity bottle, too. Gotta hop off. Bedtime for the kiddos. Good night, Perry and everybody. Cheers to a happy new year. Love y'all. Matt, love you, too. Hope you have a great night. I've got the Russell's, or excuse me, not Russell's. Turkey 101, 8-year Jimmy Russell 70th anniversary. Which, by the way, I need another bottle of. And I found one at Liquor Barn yesterday. Yes, I have been to the liquor store already. Do not judge me. But it was in a it was in like a gift basket, which is bizarre. Which comes with like a glass and other stuff too. And the basket itself was like $80. And I really just want it for the bottle. And I'm kind of considering going back and buying it. And I wonder if it's worth it. Anyway, my last bottle here in the flight is the 12-year 101. And I need to get that cork a little wet because it has been a minute since I've opened this bottle. And I didn't want the cork to break on me. I think I got just about everything equal, too. All right. I'm going to shuffle things around. This may seem crazy, but I genuinely already don't know where anything is and which is which. And the good thing is, too, these are all unbranded, unmarked Glens. So I don't know what is what and what's in which class. So, and hopefully that'll do it. Let me move these guys off. Put a couple of bottles up for display because, you know. All right. I got bundles of 70th and LME on the interwebs for not a great price, but hey, I've done dumber things on the internet. Haven't we all, Tony? Haven't we all? All right, let's start off with glass number 1. Now, off the bat, that one might be my Dusty. And off the bat, I might have discovered a flaw in this flight. That some of these might be too distinct. But truly, I'm not sure. So, let's see. Okay, it doesn't taste dusty. Ooh. That is rich. That has got some character to it. Oh, it's very raisiny on the finish. Which I don't know if I've ever gotten like a raisin note before. Have I ever gotten raisin on a finish on a turkey product? I don't know if I have. I've sometimes thought things were too distinct and then was way off. Yeah, that happens too. Glass 2. That nose is immediately lighter than the first glass. It's mostly woody. Some like farm notes. I'm getting notes of an open field and horses. Boy, I tell you what. Okay. 2 glasses in, and I've made one determination. I friggin' love Turkey 101. Every time I have Turkey 101, I just am reminded how much I love this bourbon. In all its many shapes and sizes and differences. It always just, I love it. I truly do. Just fantastic. And I don't know which one this is either. Now, if you're watching closely, you might be able to see, because I've taken pieces of a sticky note and I've written them on the bottom, or I've written on the sticky note. I've put them on the bottom of all my glasses. So when I drink, you might be able to see it on screen, but I'm intentionally looking away from my monitor so I don't see what they are. But if you're an eagle-eyed viewer, you might notice. I'm not saying you spoil the surprise for yourself, but you might be able to see. Moving on to glass number 3. Giving it the old porter swirl. See, I don't know what's happening here, because I've kind of gotten dusty notes on all 3 of these. And I'm getting... What's happened? What's happened here? That's what they call me, Old Eagle Eyes. You are right, Tony. That is your nickname. It not just was in high school, but it is now too. What is this tab? Oh, right. Oh. The raisin note's back, but this time it's more up front. Not just is it up front, it's almost like rum raisin. Actually, you know what that's closer to? That's closer to bread pudding. That's delicious. You know, for there being a dusty product in here, and also for there being a 12-year-old bourbon in here, none of these so far, and I've got one glass left, none of these so far have read as being either particularly dusty or being particularly high-aged. And I don't know which one's my favorite yet, either. I am going to, however, take another sip of number 3. That's fabulous. I don't know what that one is. That's incredible. That reminds me more of like a Russell's than it does Turkey 101, honestly. All right, glass number 4. I don't even know what I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what any of these are other than Turkey 101. But I mean, this last one could be the 70th. It could be the regular. It could be the 12-year. I truly don't know. I mean, they're all of like equal quality, it feels like. I just love Wild Turkey, man. Booker's gonna Booker. Stale peanuts and cinnamon, not an exceptional batch off the rip. Great. Fan-friggin-tastic. That's what you want to hear. This one actually kind of smells like peanuts, too. Maybe it's because you said peanuts and cinnamon, because I'm actually getting that on this turkey. It smells fantastic. You know what I love to pair turkey with? I have always loved pairing Wild Turkey 101 with Japanese food. Always. Papa Ritter, did anybody else get Bombas gripper slippers for Christmas? I almost said grippa slippers. I mean, I did. Stuffing. Like turkey stuffing? I don't know which one this is. None of these even read like this is crazy. Because I don't know which one of these is even the regular Turkey 101. What I'm learning, aside from just legalize the master of implanting suggestions, that is very funny. What I'm also learning is that I don't know if I need to spend a bunch of money to buy like the 12-year-old or Dusty versions. Because if I'm drinking through these blind and they're all pretty much on the equal playing field, I could just keep buying handles of Turkey 101 and I'd be just as happy. I mean, I've gone through 4 of these and not one of them has felt overly dusty or overly aged. All right, let's go back through. I mean, it honestly feels like I just poured 4 glasses of the same bourbon. My husband always has a handle of 101 in his garage. I typically always have a handle of 101 myself. As you can see, this one's getting a little low, so. That's still a quarter of a bottle. We're getting there. If Wild Turkey introduced an 8-year age-stated version for $10 more than 101 for a 750, would you buy it over the regular? Clifton, honestly, right now, I don't know if it would make a difference for me. Like, doing this flight, I don't know if it's really changed, like, my view. What have I learned tonight? Nothing. Actually, I've learned quite a bit, to be honest. I would have to do it in this context, I think. To like truly make up my mind. Do it blind. And then decide. Because they are supposed to be putting out another edition of the 8-year 101. I don't think it's supposed to be a regular release. And I don't know if it's going to change like the price on it or not. But that being said, I mean, I'm still going to buy it. I'm a sucker for Turkey 101. He buys me 101 rye. He's a keeper. There you go. I almost put 101 rye in this flight. And I figured it would be too obvious. I don't think you knew this, Perry, but I had purchased a bottle of Turkey 101 before Thanksgiving and it's still sealed. Let's crack it open. Crack it open, Dad. Have some Turkey 101 with me. I'm glad you said that, Perry. It validates that my Christmas gift to Tammy of a handful... Sorry, let's start that over. I'm glad you said that, Perry. It validates that my Christmas gift to Tammy of a handle of Turkey 101 was a winner. True story. I love it. You learned that Booker's going to book her, at least according to this fool. True. That bottle's not sealed now. Awesome. I think I will. There you go. All right. Let me go get back to glass number 2. Okay. Doing them directly side by side. 1 is spicier than 2. 2 has more of a viscous mouthfeel than 1 does. I love Rare Breed, but it's hard to beat the price of 101. I completely agree with you. I have bought infinitely more bottles of Turkey 101. Not infinitely, but I have bought exponentially more bottles of Turkey 101 than I have Rare Breed. That being said, though, the cool thing about Rare Breed is that if you add water to it, you've got Turkey 101. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Stretch that dollar. Okay, 3 might be falling behind now. Yeah, I think 2's pulling ahead just a little bit. Let's jump to number 4. I might have some Rare Breed here too. I love Rare Breed. I mean, really. 5 bourbons to take to a desert island. Rare Breed's on there. Rare Breed, Knob Creek Single Barrel, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. George T. Stagg and William LaRue Weller, I guess. I don't know. The most tater answer. I think actually that might be my 5 to take to a desert island. Deserted island. Whatever. Hang on. I got to take blends to the island, so when I empty it, I can put a note in it and have a cool message in a bottle. Oh, that'd be fun. Oh, Blanton's. I got you now. I'll be honest with y'all. Aside from not knowing what I like which one is which, I truly don't know which one I prefer. I'm having Pinhook 5-year cast strength Ohio pick better than I expected. That's awesome. SOS, I'm Tony Bag of Donuts and I'm out of bourbon. Please save me. Only send Blanton's. Please. I love it. I mean, they're all like, oh, WB Saffel. You know what? I might get my WB Saffel out of my. Wait, is it in there? Where's my Saffel? I say like a spoiled child. I need to get some Saffel out. Running out of Rare Breed is an emergency situation. Put Tammy on life support. She's running out of Rare Breed. WB Saffel would fit in this flight. I mean, it's a little bit higher proof. I'll have some. I'll pour some after I finish up this this flight. Because I mean, again, like, arguably the hardest flight I've ever done. I think 3 might be the flattest. 2 has the best finish. One is still the spiciest. Okay. Just to confirm. Sugar Kitty. What's going on? How you doing, friend? Saffel is amazing. It's been decided I'm gonna have some Saffel after I finish this up. All right. Folks. Why? In order of least favorite to favorite in the turkey flight. Good but tired. I feel that, homie. That's just how it is, you know. Least favorite. Actually, I think. Yeah, that's the right move. Okay. Least favorite was glass number 1 here. And that was the 08. It did wind up being the spicy one. Or excuse me, the dusty one, after all. Been making the rounds at local stores, spending newfound money. There you go. Second least favorite was number 3. And that was the 12 year? Really? Yeah, it was the flattest out of them all. Bro, if I'm scared for what's about to happen, because that means I've got the regular left and the 70th anniversary. Tony runs out, we're all dead. That's funny. All right. I'm just going to look at what my favorite was, which was number 4. Because that might set the pace for the rest of my Turkey 101 drinking journey. Tony think it's the 70th. Just the regular. It was just the regular. It was my handle. It was my handle. What? My handle. You kidding me? My regular old handle of Turkey 101 beat out all the other daggum, like, unique. That's fantastic.
Maybe this one has some 15 years left over from Russell's 15 in it too.
It was close. It was close between 2 and 4. I will be very honest. No, that's... I mean, the laser codes, yeah. All right, I'll tell you the laser code. It... Shut the front door. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. It is LLMF 101102. This one in particular was bottled on... No kidding. 2024 610. It's the day before my anniversary. That's awesome. All right. My wallet is absolutely thrilled, Stacy. Stacy, I didn't like Russell's 15. Overdone, too tannic. Oh, hot takes in the chat about Russell's 15. Listen to this week's episode of the podcast to hear my thoughts about Russell's 15 and where it may or may not have landed on my best of list. Be right back. Buying all the Turkey 101 in stock, not like I don't already. There you go. So it's the MF and wrong laser code. Clifton absolutely rants about it tonight. Russell's 15 to 1 note needs sweetness and balance. Sweetness to balance. Gotcha. Sorry. Just a few weeks after we were discussing the best ketchup recipes. Yes. Oh, man. Oh, good times. Good times. I'm going to grab my Saffel real quick. That... It's not what I meant. I'm going to grab my bottle of WB Saffel. Just relax, okay? Don't. Okay, just chill. What'd you think I meant? It's around here somewhere. My back's better, at least, kind of. Where is my bottle of Saffel? Seriously. Huh. You know what? Oh, there it is. I knew it was nearby. Look what I got. I got all the turkey. Russell's 15 did not impress me either. Regular 101 is good. We've had this chat before, Perry, about grandmas. All right. I appreciate some folks finally not worshiping Russell's 15. Dang, I didn't realize that the Timbip community was so anti Russell's 15. Okay. Hey, y'all do you. I grabbed some rare breed too. This is an old bottling. The laser code on this one is LLKK. So it's dadgum, that's old. I've had that one for a while. Now we all know Perry's #1 whiskey of the year. I mean, I didn't say that. I didn't say that, Clifton. You have to listen to the podcast to find out. But I mean, you're very good at deductive reasoning. I'll just say that much, okay? One bourbon that I didn't think about including was a Kentucky Spirit pick in here, which is also 101 proof. And I mean, it's, Turkey 101. So I'll have a little bit of that as well. Who else is streaming tonight? I never know anymore who's on Thursday nights. Cam, Drums and Drams. I don't even know if he's live tonight. I know Clifton's live later, of course. Gotta go eat dinner. Cheers, Perry. Clifton, I love you, buddy. We need to collab more this year. We didn't have a single collab this year, or in 2024. We need to have multiple collabs this year. I say. Big Vic's live tonight. Is he live right now? Or will he be live? Absolutely awesome. Yes. I'm going to have a sip of the... You know what? I'm going to have a sip of the Kentucky Spirit against my favorite from the flight, which is my big stupid handle of Turkey 101. To see how that compares. Papa Ritter wants to collab. We'll do that. Mashing Drums on tonight. Is Jason live right now? Bourbon Bounty's now done? I don't know Bourbon Bounty. Are they new? Oh, Jason's live right this second. Oh, man. Wait. Hold on. Hold on a second. Live earlier than usual? There's another. I brought up Clifton. Hang on. Is this moist critical?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I can't wait to be up by 11 points at the end of this one and say, to make it a tie.
It is moist critical.
That's a tough starting round. I barely have any. Cheers, bud.
Moist critical did a YouTube or a whiskey
Here's my
video?
proposition moving forward.
Well, he's not even doing the whole thing. He's actually being really nice to us.
That is so nice.
I did not know that. That's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that later. Sorry. Jason is actually later than usual because it's Thursday. Yeah, but he's normally live on Wednesdays. Cliffy Bus is at dinner date? Yeah. Stag isn't really a starter bourbon. That probably hurt them. I don't know how much Moist drinks whiskey, though. I wonder if he would... I like Moist Critical's content. He's usually like a video game streamer. I might try to see if he wanted to be on stream sometime. That handle is stupid good. That's ridiculous. Those guys look like they were at the upstairs office of a high school gymnasium. Yes, they did. It was either that... Hang on. Let me pull it back up. Oh, why does it keep going away? It was either that or like a hotel pool. You know what I mean? If you're saying Moist Critical, that's an awful channel name. No, he's like a Twitch streamer. The word moist has been spoken way. All right, I'll stop saying it. His name's Charlie. Like a wrestling tournament was going on below them. I'll have to find a way to reach out to him and see if he wants to be on stream. I mean, that video has over 1 million views. Like, he's infinitely larger than anything I've ever done. But I think it would be fun to, like, try. There's so many people that I want to interview and have on stream or have on podcast. Who are not, you know, whiskey-centered people. And just interview over drinking whiskey. I think it would be fun. I think it would be cool. Fred does it. Fred does it with, you know, Fred Minnick does it with plenty of people all the time. I'm still working on one for you. Yes. I don't want to. I'm not gonna spoil that. But we'll, yeah. When the time comes, we'll talk about it more publicly. But I'm very excited about that potential. Your moisture content isn't there yet, then? Yes. Last sip of the Jimmy's batch opened up a bit, but still a run-of-the-mill batch. That sucks. That was totally a wrestling coach's office. %100%. 100% a wrestling coach's office. Or hockey. It might be a hockey, like a hockey arena. This is the greatest whiskey investigation of all time. I could stop. Like, I feel like I couldn't. Is Kirkland alcohol a scam? I feel like I couldn't watch this on YouTube. We could probably watch it on Twitch. Maybe if you're in Canada. Is Charlie Canadian? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Either way. Either way. I haven't even gotten to the Saffel yet. Hey, that actually, now that I'm thinking about this. Speaking of collabs. Oh, why is my brain freezing up? Hang on. Because we're going to have this guy on stream sometime soon. Aw. That's so cute. Oh. There we go. Let's see if they're live. Come on. Because he's normally live on Thursday nights. No, he's not live tonight. I want you all to... go and subscribe or follow on Instagram at least. Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. He's Kush Tender on Instagram. He's super, super cool. He's incredibly nice, incredibly sweet. I've popped into his, just kind of on, like, just out of nowhere. Popped into his live stream a couple of times. And his community, they mesh so well with us. And they will mesh so incredibly well with us. We're gonna do collabs at least once this year. We'll talk about it more, but please go follow Kush right now. He normally goes live on here we go. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I think he's just taking time off right now. But he does just mixology, cocktails, stuff like that. But super, super sweet guy. I'm so beyond excited to collab with him. Even if you're watching on the replay, if you've made it this far, go and sub to Kush. He's just a massive, massive sweetheart. And when I got done streaming, was I streaming or was I? No, I was editing. I was editing a couple weeks ago, and I popped into his live stream, and like he was finishing up and he was getting a little verklempt about things, and I was like, dude, what's going on? And he was basically just saying that like he was thankful for his community, and I feel the same way, of course. So anyway. Sub to him, follow him on social media and everything. Why not? Because I want to make sure that we show him support before he and I collab, because I don't know what that collab's going to look like just yet. I want to have him on Timbip stuff. I think I'll probably wind up on his live streams as well, making cocktails too. I'll probably have to set up like back at the bar whenever that happens. Excuse me. But either way, I've been going for 2 hours now. I think I hit my 2 hour mark. I could keep going. I don't care. And if you happen to catch him live, or see any of his posts or his content or whatever, please tell him where you came from. Pretty please. I want to one of my goals for the year is not just expanding into collabs with other bourbon creators, but also just other content creators in general. And I want our community to grow and expand and just be huge, you know. I like Jason's got, you know, almost 400 people watching right now. We should have 400 people in here every night too. We should. So, all that being said, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. I appreciate you all for watching, whether you're on the replay or you've been here live. I love you guys. This has been an incredible way to kick off the new year, to kick off the year of this brand new year of Timbip. But I'll let him know Terry Ritter sent me. Great, awesome, thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. Oh man, that about does it. I love you guys. Such a big year ahead of us. I can't wait. We'll see you real soon. Until next time, though, be good to yourself. Be good to each other. I love you very much. Until next time, though. This has been Timbip Live. I don't know. How do I end these? I don't know. Bye.